So as I've been introduced, I'm from Sokoine University of Agriculture in Tanzania, in eastern part of Africa. And the title of the work that I'm going to present is African Swine Fever Domestic Pig Psychodominance and its Socioeconomic Impact in our country, Tanzania. So, as Carlos and Anna have explained in the introduction of African swine fever, this is a hemorrhagic disease of swines, and it is caused by African swine fever virus. And normal, when the pigs they are not infected with the African swine fever virus, they are alert, as you can appreciate in the picture. But once they get infected with African swine fever virus, they become dull, as you can appreciate on the next part of the picture. And this disease have been reported to cause up to 100% mortalities in our country. And this picture is just trying to show some pigs being buried, and here experts trying to see and communicate with people who are keeping pigs on the effects of African swine fever in their communities. Clinical signs that have been observed includes hemorrhages in the pinna and also in the forelimbs. Normal, the healthy pigs their skin just looks clear, as you can see in the pictures. But once they get infected with African swine fever, we have been appreciating to see pictures in the field for the cutaneous congestion, as you can see in the bottom pictures. But also hemorrhages have been seen in the lymph nodes and in the spleen, and also spleen have tendency to enlarge, leading to the condition that is termed as splenomegaly. You can appreciate in picture E the enlargement of the spleen, but also the shape of the spleen changes. African swine fever is caused by African swine fever virus, as I've stated before, and this virus belongs to the family Aspergillidae and genus Aspervirus, and this name is derived from acronym African swine fever and related viruses. Up to date, African swine fever, there is only single species described in this genus, and also African swine fever virus, it's the only DNA arbovirus, that means arthropod-borne virus. In this PowerPoint, I'm just trying to let you appreciate the genome of the African swine fever as it has been shown by Linda Dixon. And this genome has a number of multiple genes, which some of them, their functions are known, but some of them, the function are not known, and it have a number of multi-gene functions. So what we have been doing in our country involved the diagnosis of African swine fever and also molecular characterization of this disease. So talking on the diagnosis, primers PPA1 and PPA1-2 have been used, and these have been characterizing the partial B646L, and the expected band to be 257 base pair, as it has been stated by Aguero et al. And for molecular characterization purposes, P72U and P72B primers have been used with expected band to be 478 base pair, as stated before by Bastos et al. From this slide, you can just appreciate the PCR product, and this is 257 base pair, and the down pictures showing the sequencing results. So from this recent study, a number of genotypes have been reported, but in our country, from different outbreaks from year 2000 up to year 2016, 5 genotypes have been reported. Those include genotype 2, genotype 10, genotype 9, genotype 15, and genotype 16. But from current study that I'm presenting now, we found 3 genotypes. That's genotype 2, genotype 10, and genotype 9, whereby genotype 9 was found to be persistent in the north and western part of the country. And also genotype 10 have been found to be persisting in the northeastern part of the country. And also genotype 2 have been found to persist in the southern part of the country, which is this part, and it's bordered with the neighboring countries Malawi and Zambia. They're not seen in the map. So the circulation is dominated by domestic pig transmission cycle and not the zoonotic cycle, as it has been stated in the previous studies. From this current study, African swine fever have been found to be affecting a number of livelihoods. Speaking of most of the communities that do keep pigs are the poor communities, and they keep pigs as the source of their income. So some they're sending their children to schools, and some they're having their daily needs and supplies by keeping pigs. So it has been a devastating situation to them because, as I've stated in my introduction, that this disease have been reported to cause up to 100% mortalities. So families have been really affected by this disease. Just imagine you're having 5 kids or 4 kids, you're sending them to school, and just instantly what you're depending to get money from disappear. You have nothing, and imagine you just have to pay fees for the students. You have to make sure that your family is safe. You have to pay for the health. You have to pay for everything. So it's very devastating situation to the families and communities in whole. So in our projects, what we've been looking forward, and in association collaboration with the government and different partners from different parts of the world, we have been educating, and we are looking forward to keep on educating farmers who are keeping pigs to have the knowledge, because up to now, so some of them, they don't even know that this is African swine fever or it's something, and some of them, they don't even know if there is a vaccine or a treatment. So when you face them and you ask them, what is this and what are you advising the government, their say would be, we're just telling the government to give us drugs or to give us vaccine, which is something that is not there. So we are trying to provide knowledge to the farmers and to help them understand what are the easiest control measures that we are looking for can help us to make sure that the communities are not affected with African swine fever, even if the outbreak is there and it has been reported in a number of households. Then it's way forward that it's not spreading to the rest of the households in the community. To conclude, African swine fever have been really a threat in our country, but not only in our country, even in the neighboring countries and other countries in the world, as now it is a transboundary disease, but also incursion of non-resident African swine fever genotype 2 into Tanzania have been found to be due to porosity of Tanzania borders, as I've showed you in the map, that this genotype 2 have found to be persisting in the southern part of the country, where the country is bordered by other neighboring countries, Malawi and Zambia. We're not saying that the virus or the disease came from there, but we believe that there is something that has to do with the persistence of African swine fever in that part of the country, because the incursion of first reported African swine fever in Kiela, Mbeya, in the southern part of the country, went together with another outbreak in the neighboring country of Zambia in the same year, 2010. Also, there is a shifting trend of origins of African swine fever virus from synthetic to persistence domestic cycles. And domestic cycles are caused by the transportation of live pigs, swill feeding and storage of pig products during quarantines for sale after quarantine is lifted. What do I mean by this? What we do, what the government actually do when there is a reported African swine fever, they introduce a quarantine that pigs or pigs products are not supposed to be moved from one place to another of the reported area. So what the farmers, they normally do, as I've told you the story about the devastation and all of that, the frustration, the situation that what am I going to do? They tend to slaughter their pigs, and then they keep the pigs' products, and once the quarantine is over, they resell the same pigs or pigs products that were slaughtered during the outbreak. So this has become a really hard situation for the government to deal with, because at the end of the day, it's the same outbreak that occurred leads or makes the persistence of the circulation of the virus in areas. I would acknowledge CBP and CBP, their DTRA for the travel grant, but also the VRILI for sponsorship, for the funding this. Thank you very much.